It's very, very good choice, and interesting to see that. That must be a lot. There must be a lot of players in your career that you've seen kind of at a young stage, and see them kind of progress. So that must be really nice.
Let me give you the best one. Let me give you the best one ever, right?
Cool.
So Man United, obviously, when I was younger, when I first signed for Man United, for the first year or so, there was another centre back at the club, and he was actually one of my mates at the time. He was one of the good mates, because we were always like in the resis, playing a bit of resis and stuff like that and stuff. And Gerard Piqué, he was obviously at Man United as a kid.
Mate, shout!
Honestly, what a lovely kid! What a lovely kid! But you never even got a look in at Man United. You've got Vidic, you've got Rio, you've got all the big boys. You ain't getting a look in, right? But I think they knew they had a big player. They knew it, and they were always trying to keep him on and trying to give him a new contract. But he's a Spanish lad, and he's a very outgoing, real kind of boisterous lad. Had a lot of energy. And I remember the day I think we were playing away at Wigan at the end of the season. He was like, I'm going next season, Ben, I'm leaving. I was like, where are you going? And he said Barcelona. And I was like, sod off, you ain't going back. He was like, no, I am. I've already agreed the deal. Like, it's a really good contract, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, mate, that's incredible. Like, buzzing for you. Yeah. And then fast forward, like, 10, 15 years, mate, he's won everything. Yeah. And about 5 times as well. He's won everything 5 times. So, yeah, fair play, mate. Like, you might just be at a different club, or the wrong club at the right time, or the wrong time. Yeah. Like, you should never, ever just settle for where you are, because you never know what's going to happen in football, as we've seen in the last 48 hours.
Yeah. I'm worried. I know we've got one last player to talk about, but I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't ask this question. Is there a player that you're amazed didn't reach the heights that you thought they might do?
Wow, you've literally put me on the spot there. Let me have a think about that. It's coming to me. And I'm sure you've missed my other central midfielder. I'm sure you've missed my other
I haven't. Oh, God, yes, there's 2 players. Sorry, I have missed your central midfielder.
We're going to play a 10-man dream 10.
Dream 10. All right, let's get your striker out the way. And I never thought I'd have to say that before talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. But I think, if you don't, that would have been punchy if you'd gone, no, he's just not going to make it onto my team. So, what was it like playing with Ronaldo?
Again, for me, first and foremost, the person is the most important thing on this list. Like, the person is so important. And Cristiano will always, for me, out of Messi and Ronaldo, I'll always choose Ronaldo, just because I got to see up close and personal how hard he works for it, and how much effort he put in. And it was literally his life. You know, he was honestly, I'm not even just saying it. You say about these players, he's the first one in, he's the last one out. But he was the first one in every day. He was the last one to leave every day, the last one off the training pitch. He was practicing his free kicks. He was practicing his dribbling. He would go off with a bag of balls and just do it by himself. He was so driven, it was frightening to see. It was frightening. Like, nobody else at the club at that time, bearing in mind you're talking about the biggest of the biggest, had that drive that he had. And it's no surprise to me that he went on to do what he did. So as a bloke, and like I say, for me, he was great. I used to get changed with him, next to him in the Man United dressing room, and he was always helping me, giving me little bits of advice. I remember the biggest bit that I remember was when in the Carling Cup final we were playing Tottenham, and the full-time whistle gone at the end of extra time, and it was going to penalties. And he walks up to me, and bearing in mind, I'm a year older than Ronaldo, by the way. I'm a year older. He walked up to me, put his arm around me, and said, "This is your time, this is your time." And it's like my dad came up and did it. Honestly, like, Ronaldo did it, and he put his arm around, and I was like, oh, cheers, Cristiano.
Wow. But
amazing. Then I'll go, and obviously I'm like buzzing. I'm on cloud 9. Like, I saved the first penalty. We go on, win the penalty shootout. But he didn't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? He didn't have to go and say that. He took a bit of a moment out of himself to go and do that, and to make other people feel better, and to make the team better. And that for me will live as long as I can remember.
Which is interesting, because it's something that I'm not sure you would totally expect from someone like him. Because the question I want to ask you was, like, that idea of how driven he is. But then, he's selling the abs stuff. Like, the hair's always right. The forehead's looking incredibly, there's no wrinkles on that. Who knows why? But so for him, how would you break down the percentage of him being sort of intrinsically motivated, and then him being extrinsically, like it being about the trophies and the money and the fame and all those things? Like, because there's some really human elements that you're saying there, but then the exterior of it looks quite flashy. So how would you?
I just think he had sort of compartmentalizing the two things: the player, the brand, and then the person. The three things. Sorry. he was just the best at doing it. He knew wherever he was, whatever environment he was in, he knew which sort of role to play and which one to get into. And when it wasn't about football and him being Ronaldo, he knew how to have a laugh. He knew how to get involved with the lads. He wasn't somebody that would just be cut adrift from everybody and didn't really like to get involved and have a joke and have a laugh. He was always there. He was in with the lads. He knew how to communicate with people. He knew how to get on well with people, and people liked him. Literally everybody liked him in the football club, whether it was the kitchen staff, the chef, it would be the security people, it would be the secretary lady, all those kind of people. Never have a bad word to say about it. Same as the players. He just knew how to do it. But then he knew when he was in that different arena and he had to perform on the pitch, he would do that. Or if it was the Ronaldo brand off the pitch, he would do what needed to be done. And he was just very good at separating every single facet of his life.
That's fascinating. So Beckham's a good example there, isn't it? Because I think that was always, you were always waiting for that with Beckham a lot of the time. You're waiting for him to sort of topple over because there's too much Brill cream had or whatever it might be. It's interesting that Ronaldo had the same thing. That's so fascinating, mate. Thank you for that.